Welcome back to the kitchen at Andersen Acres. Today we are making a side dish that is really easy to make, and you probably have most of the ingredients in your cupboard and your fridge already. We are making Dijon potato wedges. So we're going to need some potatoes. Everyone loves potatoes. Everyone loves Dijon mustard. So it makes sense that we can combine the two into a delicious side dish. Dijon potato wedges don't take a lot of prep time, but they will take 45 to 60 minutes to bake. So plan accordingly if you're having a large dinner. So the first thing you're going to need is about a pound of potatoes. Depending on the size of your potatoes, that could be as few as 4, that could be as many as 10. So I've got 8 because I'm using potatoes that are on the smaller side. I prefer potatoes that are on the smaller side for this because I would like slightly smaller wedges. Also, try to pick potatoes that don't have, like I pulled this one out to show you. I'm going to end up cutting that end off, but that don't have these little nubs sticking out because that doesn't make a great wedge. I'm going to end up cutting that spot off. And you can either wash them and scrub them up nice, or you can peel them. I am going to peel them. All right, the potatoes are peeled. Now we're going to cut them into wedges. This is pretty easy to do. Just start by cutting a potato in half. Then take your half a potato, slice that in half. And then depending on the size of your potatoes, you'll either cut 2 or 3 wedges. I'm cutting 2. So you end up with wedges. Okay, I'm going to do that with all the potatoes, but you don't need to watch me do that. And throw them in a bowl. So I've got a bowl off to the side, throw the potatoes in. Okay, just keep doing that and throw the potatoes in your bowl. And then we will come back and start adding ingredients to our potatoes. Make sure your potatoes are separated. So if they're stuck together, just pull them apart because you want them when you're mixing the ingredients to get coated on all sides. We'll be right back when I'm done slicing potatoes. All right, potatoes are cut into wedges and they're in the bowl. Now we're going to start adding some ingredients. Now, this is a minimum amount. If you really like an ingredient, feel free to add more. First, we're going to add some Dijon mustard. You're going to want at least a tablespoon. If you really love Dijon, maybe do a little more, but at least 1 tablespoon. You're going to need some oil. You can use canola or sunflower or vegetable, whatever you've got. You're going to need about 2 tablespoons. Reserve that oil, so save your oil, don't put it away, just in case you need more than that. Okay, and we're going to give that a mix now, once we have the oil and the mustard. Okay, they have to be well coated in the oil or they won't get crispy. And break up any potatoes that are still married together. You want oil on all sides. And you want the mustard on all sides. The question I often get is, can I use regular mustard instead of Dijon? Sure. It won't taste the same, but yeah, if you want, you can. Absolutely. So, next ingredient. Oh, we have a potato that didn't get drenched. There we go. All right, next ingredient. We're going to get some paprika. You're going to do about 1.5 teaspoons or even a little more. Don't skimp on that paprika. You need it, okay? Trust me, you need the paprika. Give that a slight toss. Okay, just a little toss because we're adding other ingredients as well. Remember, you can go back and add some more. Now we're going to do half a teaspoon of cumin. Cumin is great in this recipe, okay? So I've had people go, I don't like cumin. You'll like it in this recipe. Promise. I promise you'll like it in this recipe. It's so very good. So about half a teaspoon of that. You can, again, go more if you like. Break up any pieces that are stuck together. Again, we want all sides of the potatoes coated. There we go. Now we're going to take some garlic powder. I like to do about half a teaspoon to a teaspoon, but you can go more than that if you like. But half a teaspoon at a minimum. You do want that garlicky flavor. So give that a mix. And then finally, and this is an ingredient people always ask me if I have to include, and the answer is you really should. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. Salt is not to make it salty, okay? It's to unify those flavors. So we're only doing about half a teaspoon. You don't need more than that, okay? Just a little bit. It's not making it salty. If you made it so salty that you can taste, all you taste is salt, that's too much salt. What the salt's doing in here is unifying those flavors and bringing them out. There we go. Give that a nice mix. Okay? Then set this aside. You need a shallow baking dish. In my case, I'm using glass, but you can use whatever you have. So I'm going to spray my baking dish with some cooking spray or coat it in some oil. It doesn't matter. As long as you're making it so it's not going to stick, because these will have a tendency to stick if you don't coat your pan. So coat your pan in whatever way you prefer to prevent sticking. Okay? Now we are going to place these potatoes in the baking dish. So we need a larger baking dish because we do have a fair number of potatoes. Come on, guys. Get out of there. Okay. Spread those around so they're in as even a layer as you can manage. Okay. There we go. Keep your spoon. You're going to need that spoon. Okay. Now, potatoes that are in a single layer are going to cook faster and more evenly than potatoes that are in a thick layer, so use a larger baking dish than you think you need. We're going to put them in the oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to leave them there for 25 minutes. Then we're going to turn them, and then we're going to stick them back in the oven for a further 20 minutes. After that, we're going to check them. So first, stick them in the oven for 25 minutes at 425 degrees. We'll be right back. All right, my timer for 25 minutes just went off. Okay, so this is what they look like now. They are not crispy enough. They will not be crispy enough after only 25 minutes. They need at least another 20. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our spatula and we're going to mix them. Okay? Turn them over, move them around a little bit, smooth them back out. Right? Just make sure no one's stuck together. Separate them. Just like that. And then we're going to pop them back in the oven for another 20 minutes. That's when we're going to start checking them, okay, to see if they're cooked, because they're not crispy enough now, even if they are cooked. So we're not going to worry about them for another 20 minutes. I'm going to pop them in the oven, and we'll be right back. Again, 20 minutes at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, my timer just went off. So they were in for 25 minutes. Now they've been in for 20 minutes. Now they're getting kind of crispy. But the real trick here, I just have to shut the oven. The real trick here is to use a fork and see if they're cooked. So you kind of pick some fat ones, see if they're cooked. And you kind of do 2 or 3, and they should split, like so. Okay? They should split. If they don't split or your fork doesn't pierce easily, they're not done. Okay? Okay, so I think we're good. These bigger ones seem to be pretty good. So I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is off camera, we're going to plate them up on a little bowl, get ourselves some dip, and take a look at what they look like when they're finished and plated. And just like that, we have crispy, delicious Dijon potato wedges. These are really easy to make. Yes, they do take 45 minutes to an hour in the oven. Remember, if yours are not tender, you stick them back in the oven for 10 minutes. But they are delicious, okay? They are easy to make. They are fun. They don't take a ton of effort, which is nice if you suddenly have people coming over. They just spend a long time in the oven. As an alternative to baking, you can pan fry these potatoes. Do this only for smaller batches, as large batches are going to take forever in a skillet. So if you're only making a few, then you can just throw them in a pan if you like. But the oven does take care of a lot of the work for you. That's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Drop a comment below if you enjoyed Dijon potato wedges. We'll see you tomorrow.